Morning. Good morning, everyone. Distinguished delegates, a very good morning to you all. I hope you had a restful evening and are ready for another productive and inspiring day as we continue our discussions on the second day of the 9th session of the Committee on Statistics. We start our morning session today with a discussion on draft recommendation number 1 from yesterday. May I ask the Secretariat to share the revision of the draft recommendation on the screen proposed by distinguished delegates of China, Fiji, and Japan. Let me just read out the draft recommendation as agreed yesterday with the distinguished delegates of China, Japan, and Fiji. Draft Recommendation 1, acknowledging the need to accelerate the implementation of the Declaration on Navigating Policy with Data to leave no one behind, the Committee on Statistics recommends that the Economic and Social Commission for Asia and the Pacific call upon its members and associate members to increase political and financial support for inclusive statistical systems to help achieve the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development and calls for support from development partners as appropriate. Would any delegation wish to make any comments on the text proposed? I see none. Thank you, distinguished delegates, for constructive cooperation. I request the Secretariat to include this version of the text in the draft report for consideration during the adoption of the report. This concludes our discussion on agenda item 2. Now I would like to invite Ms. Jian Hong Ruan to chair the discussion on the next agenda item. Thank you.
Distinguished delegates, a very good morning to you all. We shall now proceed with agenda item 3, emerging issue, ideal statistical systems that are fit for the future. Supported by the document, Ideal Statistical Systems that are fit for the future, ESCAP/CST9/3. Again, we kindly request your support in tailoring your interventions to issues for discussion or action only, and to keep your interventions to no more than 3 minutes. We strongly urge delegations to keep interventions brief and focused. Please keep an eye on your timer displayed on the screen. You will be alerted when your 3 minutes are up, and will be asked to wrap up your intervention immediately. The Secretariat has prepared a video to introduce this agenda item. May I ask the Secretariat to play the video related to this agenda item, please.
Agile statistical systems are essential in today's fast-paced world of real-time data demands. There are various definitions of agile organizations, but most include these common aspects. A flexible strategy, which is continuously updated to adapt to changing circumstances, new opportunities, and challenges. Empowering leadership that fosters trust, prioritizes team well-being and growth, and creates a supportive, collaborative workplace where everyone is valued. Cross-functional teams, which enable faster decision-making, enhance communication, and foster collaboration. A strong user focus, which engages diverse groups, governments, businesses, media, academia, and the public, ensuring data systems stay relevant and responsive to evolving needs. Inclusive human resources policies and practices that champion diversity, equity, and a sense of belonging in the workplace. A culture of continuous learning and innovation, fostered through mentorship, peer learning, job rotation, and sharing knowledge and experience. Improved business processes that enhance efficiency and consistency through the use of open-source software and standardized processes. And an agile workplace that supports flexibility, collaboration, and creativity by removing traditional office barriers. Together, these elements can create agile statistical systems that are fit for the future.
Okay, thank you, the Secretariat, for this wonderful introduction video. May I now invite Mr. Bakalov, Director of Statistics Agency under the President of the Republic of Uzbekistan and the Vice Chair of the Bureau of ESCAP Committee on Statistics to provide us with some key messages from the recently concluded management seminar on Agile Statistical, which took place earlier this week. Mr. Bakalov, you have the floor.
Добрый день, уважаемые коллеги. Благодарю вас, господин председатель, ваше превосходительство, уважаемые делегаты. Для меня большая честь поделиться некоторыми ключевыми вопросами, которые мы обсуждали во вторник на менеджмент-семинаре ESCAP, где рассматривались 3 аспекта гибких статистических систем. Во-первых, мы услышали вдохновляющее выступление наших коллег из Грузии и Филиппин о том, что они делают для взаимодействия с пользователями, а затем рассмотрели 10 различных групп пользователей и обсудили, как мы можем взаимодействовать с каждой из них. Хотя трудно обобщить их, были некоторые ключевые идеи, о которых мы услышали. Значит, участие по всей цепочке производства статистики, от обеспечения того, чтобы сбор данных отражал местные приоритеты, до обеспечения того, чтобы мы создавали продукты для удовлетворения потребностей различных пользователей. Творческий подход к поиску способа удовлетворения потребностей различных групп пользователей с помощью таких идей, как фестивали и конкурсы данных, а также необходимость повышения статистической грамотности во всех групповых пользователей. Во-вторых, у нас была сессия в World Cafe по улучшению бизнес-процессов, где мы изучили широту инициатив по улучшению бизнес-процессов, начиная с презентации Мальдив и Монголии. Сессия показала, что многие страны увеличивают автоматизацию сбора данных, больше используют административные данные и автоматизируют анализ данных. Но эти улучшения процесса также должны быть подкреплены другими изменениями, включая обновление законодательства и повышение квалификации наших кадров. Сессия показала, что не всегда самые богатые или самые крупные статистические управления вносят эти улучшения. есть кое-что, что мы можем научиться у всех стран и всех организаций. Уважаемые коллеги, на заключительном заседании страны поделились своими приоритетами для будущего регионального сотрудничества, включая дополнительную работу по улучшению бизнес-процессов, лидерство в области инноваций, способы более тесного взаимодействия с частным сектором и инновационный способ вовлечения различных групп пользователей для расширения использования официальной статистики. Я хотел поблагодарить всех, кто принимает участие в обсуждениях на семинаре по управлению ESCAP, а также организаторов этой конференции. И спасибо, уважаемый председатель, за предоставленное слово.
Thank you, Mr. Baglov, for the key messages. Distinguished delegates, the floor is now open for comments on Agenda Item 3. Let me have a look. The first speaker is distinguished delegate of Laos, to be followed by the distinguished delegate of Philippines. Distinguished delegate of Laos, you have the floor.
Thank you. Madam Chair, Excellencies, distinguished delegate, ladies and gentlemen. It is an honor to address in these sessions on emerging issues on statistics systems that are fit for the futures. On behalf of the Laos Bureau of Statistics, I am pleased to share our vision and efforts in the building a statistical system in Laopedia that both responsive to current needs and adaptable to the future challenges. As we are aware that the new emerging demand is driven by technological advancement, climate change, and involving global agendas. The need for an agile and future-ready statistical system had never been more urgent. For Laopedia, this means creating a system capable of delivering accurate, timely, and flexible data to meet these requirements. The Lao Bureau of Statistics had initiated a key perform to strengthen our national statistical system. First, strengthening the data governance and integration. The Lao government has enacted the statistical law, which provide the legal framework for accurate, transparent data collections. The 2026-2035 National Strategy for the Development of Statistics and SDS in the process is preparations is aligned statistical priority with the national goals, including the SDG, ensuring our system is adaptable to future needs. Second, modernization of the data collection. We are modernizing data collection with the tools such as CAPI and Geographical Information System, GIS. This technology will be crucial for 2025 populations and housing census, improving the data accuracy, efficiency, especially from the remote areas. Third, regional and international collaboration. Laopedia actively participate in regional and international exchange programs, strengthening our statistical capacity and aligning our system with the global standard. Fourth, improving access to reliable data. We are enhancing the dissemination of data by expanding online platforms and making data more accessible and ensuring stakeholders from the government to business and civil society can make data-driven decisions. Despite this effort, we face key constraints including user focus and data relevance, ensuring this data meet to the diverse needs of policymakers and publics remain a challenge. In terms of
Distinguished delegate of law,
yes,
please
so
pay attention your time.
we are committed to overcome these constraints and challenges through the continuous reorganization, technological innovation, and strong partnership with regional and international stakeholders to navigating the national statistical system. Together, we can strengthen the Lao
Would you
statistical
please
system,
to get your
enhance better
conclusion,
policy
and
making.
it is time
I
to
thank
up.
you for your kind attention.
Okay, thank you. The next speaker is a distinguished delegate of Philippines, to be followed by distinguished delegate of Armenia. Distinguished delegate of Philippines, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, Madam Chairperson. The Philippines, through the Philippine Statistics Authority, fully supports the draft decision and commends the Secretariat for the comprehensive analysis entitled Emerging Issues, Agile Statistical System that are Fit for the Future. The document accurately highlights the critical role of agile statistical system in navigating the dynamic data landscape and meeting the growing demand for timely, relevant, and high-quality data. The Philippine Statistics Authority positions itself as a unique national statistical office with its multifaceted mandate encompassing official statistics, civil registration, national ID system, community-based monitoring system, and the Philippine Ecosystem and Natural Capital Accounting System. These diverse mandates drives a user-centric approach that ensure the Philippine Statistics Authorities respond to the needs of the government, both the national and local government, academia, researchers, and the public, and other key stakeholders. Prioritizing user needs is a fundamental principle enshrined in our 2023 to 2029 Philippine Statistical Development Program. This commitment to providing timely and relevant data empowers evidence-based decision-making. The Philippine Statistics Authority remains committed to building a more agile, innovative, and responsive statistical system. Thank you very much, Madam Chairperson.
Thank you. The next speaker is a distinguished delegate of Armenia, to be followed by distinguished delegate Bangladesh. Distinguished delegate of Armenia, you have the floor.
Thank you. Good morning, distinguished delegates. Armenia recognizes that robust, flexible, and responsive statistical systems are essential for addressing emerging challenges in a rapidly changing world. To this end, we are focusing on three key priorities. One, establishing the national statistical system. The introduction of new law on official statistics in April 2018, fully aligned with the laws, marked a significant milestone for Armenia. This law emphasizes the establishment of a national statistical system, mandating that multiple government agencies serve as producers of official statistics. Currently, the NSS includes Armstat as a main producer, the Central Bank, and the Ministry of Finance. However, transitioning to a multi-producer system presents notable challenges, including lack of motivation among government agencies, limited resources and fundings to support this transition, and the need for enhancing coordination mechanisms. Despite these obstacles, Armstat is committed to leading the development of NSS to meet the growing demand for timely, reliable, and disaggregated data. Two, fostering innovation and inclusion, modernizing data infrastructure. Armstat is widely using administrative data sources for the production of official statistics and making efforts to register-based statistical system following the model of Scandinavian countries. In this context, Armstat has developed a concept note for the establishment of a digital integrated administrative register system. Earlier this year, the introduction of an e-reporting system marked a major step forward in digitizing and modernizing statistical processes. Nonetheless, challenges persist, particularly in the use of non-traditional data sources. Capacity building across agencies, coordination and harmonization. To address these issues, Armstad is investing in capacity building initiatives for government agencies with a focus on leveraging modern technologies and statistical methodologies, strengthening cooperation with stakeholders to enhance its leading and coordinating role within the NSS. Looking ahead, Armenia is steadfast in this commitment to building a statistical system that is agile, inclusive, and responsive to societal needs. Empowering multiple agencies to produce official statistics will not only improve the quality of our data, but will also enable us to deliver evidence-based policies. In closing, I express my gratitude to UN ESCAP for fostering a platform for knowledge exchange and capacity building. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. The next speaker is Distinguished Delegate of Bangladesh, to be followed by Distinguished Delegate of China. Distinguished Delegate of Bangladesh, you have the floor.
Madam Chair, Excellencies, distinguished delegates, Bangladesh Bureau of Statistics (BBS), as the National Statistics Office of the country, is responsible for collecting, compiling, and disseminating data and statistics on various sectors of the country and society. Bangladesh has prepared the baseline National Quality Assurance Framework, where we have assessed the gaps and challenges to establish an agile statistical system in Bangladesh. The National Data Coordination Committee (NDCC) has been formed to coordinate and provide guidance to ministries, divisions, agencies of the government, and also representatives from private sector, academia, and civil society organizations that prepare and provide standardized, update, and acceptable data for official statistics. Distinguished delegates, use of citizen data for monitoring SDG in Bangladesh has been initiated in Bangladesh in 2024. The National Statistics Office, BBS, has started implementing a collaborative project in partnership with renowned NGOs, International Civil Society Center, in collaboration with UNSD. The initiative will support national CSOs in their data-driven work at country level in Bangladesh, and to further the discussions and efforts at the global level. A pilot will be carried out in Bangladesh with civil society organizations that are interested in producing data for policy making. Bangladesh Bureau of Statistics has initiated different collaborative exercises to introduce non-conventional methods in the official statistics. Bangladesh has piloted the nighttime light data for estimating poverty at the disaggregated level. The new era of big data will enhance the high-frequent data for the agile statistics in Bangladesh. Distinguished delegates, we expect the support from the member countries through sharing the learning of good practices from them for the different initiatives to foster the agile statistical system. I thank you all.
Okay, thank you. The next speaker is a Distinguished Delegate of China, to be followed by Distinguished Delegate of Georgia. Distinguished Delegate of China, you have the floor.
尊敬的主席女士、各位代表，我们原则同意秘书处所提的决定草案。对于方案中建立敏捷统计系统相关决定，我们高度认同。中国国家统计局一直致力于推进统计现代化改革，积极适应不断变化的环境、新出现的机遇和新的挑战。在应用新技术改进业务流程方面，我们以电子统计台账建设为抓手，对统计采集、处理、分析等全流程进行全方位数字化改造和赋能。通过自然语言分析、视频图片识别和机器学习等技术，打造国民经济行业智能驸马、数据智能审核与监测、住户记账图片识别等大数据应用场景，有效提升统计数据采集、审核和分析等各环节的效率。在领导团队和人力资源建设方面，我们注重加强统计队伍能力建设。面对时间紧迫、任务艰巨重大的专项工作时，一般采取抽调专人、集中统一办公的方式，组织业务骨干集中完成任务。例如，为推进第5次全国经济普查，成立了实体型集中办公机构，负责经济普查试点、方案设计、组织实施、质量控制等各项重要任务。集中办公室从各单位抽调相关专业人员，充分发挥其专业特长， 加强与各部门的组织协调，确保工作有序推进。在人才招录和培养选拔中，加大对统计类、数学类、计算机类专业人员招录力度，围绕统计制度方法设计、数据收集整理以及大数据、云计算和人工智能应用等前沿科技，探索开发针对性强、契合统计发展需要的全国统计高层次人才培养工程，推动打造素质全面的统计领军人才队伍。中国国家统计局作为全球统计机构培训网络和官方统计使用大数据和数据科学专家委员会成员，愿继续加强与亚太经社会统计委员会及亚洲各国的交流与合作，研究应对政府统计面临的共同挑战。
Thank you. The next speaker is distinguished delegate of Georgia, to be followed by distinguished delegate of India. Distinguished delegate of Georgia, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam. Distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, Georgia recognized the critical role of data in driving sustainable development and meeting the demands of the Agenda 2030. In this regard, Geostat has developed innovative strategies to modernize our statistical systems and to addressing emerging challenges. The strategy outlines key directions for the production of official statistics and underscores the importance of reliable data for evidence-based policymaking. In this era of rapid changes and development, marked by technological advancement, climate change, pandemics, and shifting societal needs, the demand for real-time and high-quality data is particularly significant. In this respect, implementation of the modern data collection technologies, such as big data, such as scanner data, and web scraping are challenging. I'm delighted to highlight that web scraping is already used by Price Statistics Department of Geostat as a data source for the Residential Poverty Price Index. Also, scanner data is another potential data source for the compilation of the CPI and HICP. Currently, data is received and analyzed. As part of its strategy objective, Geostat plans to further explore innovative data collection tools to enhance data integration and ensure access to timely information. These include the expanded use of web scraping and scanner data for consumer price indices, and employing big data and remote sensing for agricultural and environmental statistics. Another notable innovation is the introduction of a fully paperless data collection system by Geostat in 2023, which has significantly improved data quality and operational efficiency. Over and above, building an agile statistical system is a continuous journey that demands innovation, collaboration, and alignment with international standards. Embracing technology, fostering partnerships, and proactively addressing emerging challenges ensure that our systems remain forward-looking and responsive to future needs. On behalf of Geostat, I would like to reaffirm our commitment to advancing these efforts and driving meaningful progress. Thank you very much.
Thank you. The next speaker is distinguished delegate of India, to be followed by distinguished delegate of Indonesia. Distinguished delegate of India, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Chair. India takes note of the document on agile statistical systems that are fit for the future as prepared by the Secretariat and appreciates the efforts made in the process. It also welcomes the suggestion made in the note by the Secretariat. India would also like to bring on record that in order to enhance the agility of its statistical system to meet the evolving demands of data collection, analysis, dissemination, innovation, etc., several measures have been prioritized. Some of them are as follows. To enhance user experience and ease of data access, it has launched eSankeki portal, a centralized data repository along with visualization, metadata, and API for data sharing and interoperability. Addition of a data visualization section on the website of MOSPI with download features of reuse, the portal currently has more than 2.7 million records. In order to foster innovation in the official statistics, India has established an operationalized research and analysis unit to analyze publicly available data sets and share the findings of the analysis with government stakeholders as policy inputs. Additionally, it has recently operationalized Data Innovation Lab to promote innovation, adoption of information technology, improvement in methodology, etc., in the field of official statistics. To strengthen institutional mechanism of statistical coordination and collaboration among central ministry departments, NSO India has defined the roles of statistical advisors and initiated workshops for sensitization and feedback to ensure effective coordination and collaboration. In order to make administrative statistics more qualitative and reliable, the NSO India has taken steps, including examination of major data sets generated by selected ministry departments on various elements of national metadata structure and development of metadata standards for surveys, censuses, and administrative records. To ensure consistency in macro indices aggregates, major initiatives taken by NSO India include constitution of committees and initiating consultation for revision of base year of consumer price index, index of industrial production, and gross domestic product. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. The next speaker is a distinguished delegate of Indonesia, to be followed by distinguished delegate of Japan. Distinguished delegate of Indonesia, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Chair. First, Indonesia recognizes that in the modern data-driven area, statistical system must be flexible and responsive to meet evolving needs. BPS has taken significant steps toward creating a more dynamic and client-centric approach to statistics. One of our flagship initiatives is the One Data Initiative. This initiative aims to establish the unified and integrated data governance system across all sectors and institutions in Indonesia. By harmonizing data formats, metadata, and reference code, we are enhancing the efficiency, transparency, and accountability of government decision-making. BPS has also transformed into a provider of valuable insight to strengthen policymaking. This transformation underscores the recognition that the role of the National Statistics Office must evolve from simply delivering numbers to taking the lead in the data governance. Aligned with this commitment, we are also revising the Statistics Act to solidify BPS role as the conductor of the national statistical system. Chair and fellow delegates, leadership development is a core priority at BPS. To strengthen our capacity, we have introduced a range of programs, including leadership workshop and executive development initiative. We also recognize the importance of inclusivity and support program for women's leadership in the public sectors. Additionally, talent management is a key to ensuring we build a sustainable workforce capable of meeting future demands. Our commitment to innovation is also reflected in our efforts to improve business process. For instance, we are using big data and advanced technology like mobile positioning data or MPD to produce tourism statistics and satellite imagery for mixed method approach to modernize the food production data. This innovation enable us to collect data faster, reduce costs, and ensure more granular insights. This innovation has created a demand for highly skilled human resources. Therefore, we have introduced a data science program at BPS Polytechnic of Statistics, the vocational school dedicated to cultivating future statisticians and data scientists for the BPS. Finally, we understand that an agile workforce is key to an agile statistical system. To this end, BPS has implemented flexible working arrangement and created a supportive environment for continuous learning and development, recognizing that a happy, well-supported employee is the foundation of a productive organization. In closing, Indonesia is committed to strengthening its statistical system to ensure that we are well prepared for the challenges of the
you are
future.
running over your time.
We look forward to continuing our collaboration with all of you to build systems that are not only efficient and effective, but also agile and responsive to the needs of our societies. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. The next speaker is distinguished delegate of Japan, to be followed by distinguished delegate of Republic of Korea. Distinguished delegate of Japan, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam la Présidente. Under Japan's master plan concerning the development of offshore statistics, we are enhancing training programs for senior officials overseeing statistical production across ministries. Additionally, we are strengthening personnel evaluations to emphasize their role in improving statistical quality management. These initiatives aim to transform the mindset of both senior officials and general staff, fostering an organizational culture that prioritizes statistical quality with a focus on societal needs and user perspectives. We strongly believe that sharing examples from different countries will inspire progress and accelerate the development of more agile and responsible statistical systems in the Asia-Pacific region. Thank you.
Thank you. The next speaker is distinguished delegate of Republic of Korea, to be followed by distinguished delegate of Mongolia. Distinguished delegate of Republic of Korea, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I commend the Secretariat for preparing this intensive note outlining the transformative directions that national statistical systems should pursue in a rapidly changing data landscape. Recognizing this change, Statistics Korea (KOSTAT) has been undertaking various initiatives to transform into more agile organizations. First, KOSTAT has introduced AI technology to improve accuracy of data and efficiency of work processes. In 2022, we launched an AI-based statistical classification system for several surveys statistics, including population census. And we are now trying to adapt the AI's machine learning to public service, such as chatbot service. Second, KOSTAT has become more flexible and proactive in managing its human resources and overall structure. For example, we created a statistical registers division to strengthen data integration in all sectors. We also established the population projection team to better respond to the country's demographic challenges by shortening the population projection cycle from 5 years to 2 or 3 years. Smart Service Center was created in order to cope with the deteriorating survey environment after COVID-19, which is results the improvement of response rate in many business surveys. Lastly, KOSTAT promotes user engagement in the entire statistical process. We have increased the number of statistical data centers across the country to provide the service for microdata and statistical registers. Also, a project is underway to build the next generation system called One Portal, which will integrate dispersed statistical services and provide AI-based and data-based customized statistical information services. Korea remains committed to supporting initiatives aiming to transform national statistical system within our region into agile organizations. We will actively share our experience and expand our support to achieve this goal. Thank you.
Thank you. The next speaker is distinguished delegate of Mongolia, to be followed by distinguished delegate of Nepal. Distinguished delegate of Mongolia, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Mongolia strongly endorses the draft decision as well as the associated aspects contained in the document, agile statistical systems that are fit for the future. To strengthen the overall national statistical system, data governance, and data-driven evidence-based decision-making, National Statistics Office of Mongolia has started data integration initiative with support from development and bilateral partners. The initiative focuses on assessing data gaps, developing a roadmap for integrated data, and using other data sources for official statistics and enhancing human resource capacity. We believe that data integration can assist in bridging data gaps, minimize data collection costs, and augment the quality of statistics. In order to create agile national statistics system, it's critical to improve the institutional framework for coordination and vision sharing among the national statistical system stakeholders and to develop collaboration mechanisms. Regarding this, we are amending the law on statistics to have access to record-level administrative data and to broaden a National Statistical Council to strengthen the collaboration and coordination among the national statistical system stakeholders as recommended by the review conducted by the ESCAP. In addition, Mongolia is developing a national data strategy with support from the ESCAP and planning to establish National Data Governance Board involving key stakeholders of the data value chain in the nation. In this regard, Mongolia commends the committee and secretariat's work on developing a conceptual framework for data governance and compiling a compendium of data governance arrangements in the region, which works as a reference for the countries to develop national data strategy. To encourage the standardization of statistical production and improve consistency and quality assurances, it's critical to establish standards and frameworks which is based on internationally accepted best practices. So we are implementing GSPP and GAMSA-based modernization in our statistical system with support from the ESCAP. And we also joined the United Nations Power of Data Initiative. We believe that these initiatives will strengthen the national statistical system and help us to achieve the sustainable development goals. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. The next speaker is distinguished delegate of Nepal, to be followed by distinguished delegate of Russian Federation. Distinguished delegate of Nepal, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Excellencies, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen. Nepal is currently facing many challenges such as climate change, demographic shifts, rapid urbanization. Therefore, making a modern and responsive statistical system is essential for achieving sustainable development goal and other priorities. Nepal's decentralized statistical system, as outlined in Constitution and Statistical Act, entrusts federal, provincial, and local governments with producing and utilizing their own statistics. The Nepal National Data Portal, developed by National Statistics Office, integrates data system aiming to enhance data governance and provide easy access to data once fully functional. The National Strategy for Development of Statistics outlines steps to improve data quality, timeliness, and accessibility. Investment in digital transformation have enhanced efficiency and accuracy, keeping statistical system relevant. Partnership with development agencies, the private sector, and academia promote data sharing and the creation of integrated data sources. Capacity building initiatives focus on training statisticians and analysts in advanced tools while improving data literacy at all governance levels to maximize the Nepal system potential. Those sources, limitations, and data gaps in remote area pose many challenges. They also encourage innovations. Nepal is committed to developing a reliable, inclusive, and dynamic statistical system to support development planning and provide high-quality data. This will help to make Nepal statistical system agile and fit for future. Thank you.
Thank you. The next speaker is distinguished delegate of Russian Federation, to be followed by distinguished delegate of Thailand. Distinguished delegate of Russian Federation, you have the floor.
Благодарю вас, госпожа председатель, уважаемые коллеги. Вызовы, связанные с революцией данных, вопросами конфиденциальности, обеспечением интеграции и качества данных, безусловно, требуют модернизации и цифровизации национальных статистических систем. Для ответа на эти вызовы в России в этом году подготовлена стратегия развития статистики до 2030 года. Ключевая цель – цифровая трансформация статистической системы. Выделяем для себя следующие задачи. Это внедрение стандарта качества в рамках кураторства данных, предоставление оперативной статистики на единой платформе, снижение нагрузки на бизнес за счет применения новых источников данных, административных и больших данных. Основной целевой показатель реализации стратегии – рост уровня удовлетворенности наших пользователей до 95% к 2030 году. Достижение этого показателя зависит от качества статистического продукта, скорости его формирования и удобства использования. Безусловно, для этого необходимы инновации на всех этапах статистического производства, и мы планомерно внедряем бизнес-процесс умного планирования с использованием системы управления запросами. Для этого создаем реестр входных, расчетных и выходных показателей на основе единой нормативно-справочной информации. К середине следующего года утверждаем стандарт качества данных, который станет обязательным для всех производителей статистики в нашей стране. Для радикального снижения отчетной нагрузки на бизнес создаем единую модель данных бизнеса. Развиваем также проект по использованию больших данных в статистике. Приоритетные направления для нас – цены, демография, туризм, торговля, транспорт и сельское хозяйство. Переписи населения, бизнеса и сельского хозяйства планируем проводить преимущественно с использованием цифровых каналов. Ну и, наконец, единым технологическим инструментом реализации всего задуманного станет цифровая аналитическая платформа, которую разрабатывает наше статистическое ведомство. Это единая точка сбора, обработки, хранения данных для всех производителей статистических данных в стране. Ну а пользователям платформы будут предоставлены личные кабинеты, где они смогут получать кастомизированные датасеты. Уважаемые коллеги, мы знаем, что многие страны региона сталкиваются с задачами стратегического планирования в сфере статистики. При этом вызовы, стоящие перед нами, являются во многом типовыми. В этой связи хотелось бы предложить секретариату рассмотреть возможность проанализировать существующие стратегические документы стран и на их основе подготовить базовые рекомендации для национального стратегического планирования в области статистики. И, наконец, учитывая актуальность рассматриваемого вопроса, мы поддерживаем предложение о том, что создание гибких статистических систем должно стать одним из приоритетов работы Комитета по статистике на ближайшие годы. Готовы присоединиться к работе как в формате экспертного участия, так и в рамках поддержки проектной деятельности. Спасибо.
Thank you. The next speaker is the distinguished delegate of Thailand, to be followed by distinguished delegate of Uzbekistan. Distinguished delegate of Thailand, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Excellency, distinguished delegates. In the world facing challenges from both climate change and pandemics, National Statistical Office must adapt rapidly to meet the evolving demand for data. Thailand has prioritized the development of a more agile statistical system by adopting a digital-first approach for the 2025 population census. Additionally, the development of the National Statistical Office Data Catalog and the Government Data Catalog aims to enhance public accessibility to data and ensure that public statistics effectively meet the needs of diverse stakeholders, including the government and civil society. These efforts align with ESCAP's goal of building resilient and agile statistical systems. Recognizing the importance of regional collaboration, Thailand has consistently providing an annual grant to support the Statistical Institute for Asia and the Pacific, (SIAP). At the same time, Thailand acknowledges the financial constraints many member states face when increasing investment in statistical development. Strengthening statistical capacity requires collective action, and ESCAP's role is vital in this regard, offering financial support, creating platforms for knowledge sharing, and introducing innovative technologies. These efforts empower countries to overcome challenges and remain competitive in body rapidly evolving data-driven environment. Looking ahead, Thailand reaffirms its commitment to collaborating with ESCAP and its member states to develop statistical systems that support the achievement of the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development, ensuring equitable access to data for all and leaving no one behind. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Distinguished delegate of Uzbekistan, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Chairperson. Good morning, Excellencies and distinguished delegates. Recent digitalization, ICT, and technological development lead to the enhancement of capacities of the NSO for data collection and analysis. At the same time, these developments require an adaptive and agile statistical systems. In Uzbekistan, I would say the basis of the agile statistical system lays in Law on Official Statistics adopted in 2021, which stipulates that national statistical system functions based on annual statistical program and multi-year strategic program. The annual program developed with broad consultations with the various users, including government, academia, media, international organizations, civil society, and others. This law and statistical program empowers NSO and other official producers of official statistics to integrate their systems with each other, aiming to meet fast-growing demand of data users and to produce timely statistics. Besides, Uzbekistan is in the implementation process of the NSDS 2020-2025, and currently we are working on the development of the NSDS for the next 5 years. Currently, Statistics Agency of Uzbekistan conducts all surveys using modern data collection technologies, including CATI and CAPI, through electronic data collection system developed by Statistics Agency is STAT4. Especially using these technologies had helped NSO of Uzbekistan during pandemic COVID-19 to quickly adapt and maintain statistical data collection. In our opinion, the national initiatives mentioned in the document are useful for all of us, and we support the draft decision of the committee. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you all. We have now gotten to the end of statements by members and associate members of the Commission. As time allows, I would like now to open the floor to international organizations and non-governmental organizations. From my screen, I see it is a turn for UNODC. You can give your organization statement. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Chair. The UNODC Co-State Center of Excellence for Statistics on Crime in the Asia and Pacific region supports member states by providing technical assistance and training to improve crime and criminal justice data. Today's agenda provides a platform to address emerging issues to ensure statistical systems remain relevant, and responsive in tackling future challenges. A critical area of concern is cybercrime. Our region has more than half of the world's internet users, making it particularly vulnerable to cyber threats. UN audit reports estimate that cyber-enabled fraud in East and Southeast Asia reached between $18 billion and $37 billion last year. Additionally, deepfake-related content grew by 600% between February and July this year compared to the second half of last year. Cybercrime is constantly evolving, affecting more victims. However, the lack of standardized definitions and classifications makes it difficult to collect real-time data. This month, the UN General Assembly is expected to adopt a draft convention against cybercrime. The convention aims to standardize definitions and legal approaches to cybercrime, promoting stronger international cooperation. It also emphasized the urgent need for reliable criminal justice data on cybercrime. To support this, and in line with today's agenda on building agile statistical systems, UNODC is in the initial stage of developing a statistical framework to measure cybercrime. The framework will help governments standardize their approaches to collecting and analyzing cybercrime data. Our center will lead the coordination of the framework development and the focus to specific type of cybercrime, such as online financial fraud or child sexual abuse. In closing, the COE remains committed to supporting agile statistical systems and fostering partnership to address future challenges. We encourage member states to join our initiative by sharing their experience and identifying challenges to contribute to framework. Thank you.
Thank you. The next organization statement is for CIS. Mr. Li Yekam, please.
Благодарю вас, уважаемый председатель. Что такое сильные данные? Мы о них говорим второй день. IT-сообщество под этими данными понимает такие, которые соответствуют 4 принципам ФАИР, а именно находимость, доступность, интероперабельность и повторное использование. Для статистики новые вызовы, эти принципы актуальны. Под вызовами я имею в виду интеграция традиционных и нетрадиционных источников данных, административных данных, big data, данных, сформированных искусственным интеллектом, переход к курированию данных, огромное количество прокси-показателей, которыми мы сейчас вынуждены оперировать. Все это также усиливает требования к гармонизации методологии и сопоставимости показателей. Все это ставит и перед статистическим сообществом задачу сделать статистические данные соответствующими этим принципам ФАИР, то есть умными, интеллектуальными данными, которые сейчас, в общем, уже называются смарт-данные. Статкомитет СНГ, чтобы сделать наши данные смарт-данными, создал и развивает хаб данных и богатых метаданных, сформированных на основе семантических моделей в соответствии с принципами ФАИР. Хаб предоставляет единую точку доступа к накопленным нами за 30 лет данным по странам СНГ, а также к основным международным статистическим ресурсам, которые мы формируем из открытых данных различных международных организаций. Структурно хаб состоит из 2 подсистем: аналитической системы и системы, системы управления знаниями и связанных открытых данных. Система управления знаниями уже охватывает 9 доменов статистических А что касается связанных открытых данных, то уже сформированы и подготовлены к публикации 35 наборов связанных открытых данных по 20 показателям домена статистика труда. Важной особенностью нашего хаба является его мультиязычность. Русский язык, английский и официальные языки стран СНГ, пока это казахский язык. Мы заинтересованы в расширении международного сотрудничества, в создании таких данных, смарт-данных, в целях совершенствования технологий интеграции и распространения данных и метаданных, в том числе по развитию глобального регистра SDMX, включая, конечно же, завершение создания его код-листов по всем атрибутам и справочникам. Огромное спасибо за внимание.
Okay, thank you. As this is the conclusion of Agenda Item 3, I would like to highlight the drafted decision under this agenda item as contained in document ESCAP/CST9/3, Ideal Statistical Systems that are fit for the future, which reads as follows. Decision 3. The Committee on Statistics decides that building ideal statistical systems should be among the priorities of its work. It requests the Bureau to propose, with support from the Secretariat and in consultation with member states and development partners, draft recommendations to that end for consideration by the committee, while bearing in mind the need to stay within existing regular budget resources. Distinguished delegates, the floor is open now for comments on the drafted decision. Okay, I see none. And this concludes our discussion on Agenda Item 3. Distinguished delegates, as we still have time, we may proceed to the next agenda item. I would like to invite Mr. Ozas Terlio to chair the session on the next agenda item. Thank you very much.
distinguished delegates, let's reconvene the session as we continue our meaningful discussions. First of all, I can again repeat that we kindly request your support in tailoring your interventions to issues for discussion or action only, and to keep your interventions to no more than 3 minutes. Thank you. Distinguished delegates, we shall now start agenda item 4 on progress made since the 8th session of the Committee on Statistics. We have 3 sub-items under this agenda item. Under agenda item 4A, progress made in implementing the decisions taken by the committee at its 8th session, the Secretariat has circulated the document ESCAP/CST8/4, progress made in implementing the decisions taken by the Committee on Statistics at its 8th session to inform its deliberations. Under agenda item 4B, report of the Bureau, the Secretariat has circulated document ESCAP/CST9/5, activities of the Bureau since the 8th session of the Committee on Statistics. Under agenda item 4C, reports of the Governing Council of the Statistical Institutes for Asia and the Pacific, the Secretariat has circulated document ESCAP/78/18, report of the Governing Council of the Statistical Institute for Asia and the Pacific on its 18th sessions, and ESCAP/80/19, report of the Governing Council of the Statistical Institutes for the Asia and the Pacific on its 19th sessions. We will begin with brief introductions to all 3 sub-items. Following this, I will open the floor for interventions, addressing each agenda item in sequence. This will be followed by consideration of the draft decision as contained in document ESCAP/CST9/4, progress made in implementing the decisions taken by the Committee on Statistics at its 8th session. May I now invite Ms. Rachel Bevan, Director, Statistics Division, ESCAP, to provide an introduction of agenda item 4A. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. Excellencies, distinguished delegates, it's my honour to introduce agenda item 4A, progress made in implementing the decisions taken by the Committee on Statistics at its 8th session. As per the annotated agenda for the session, document ESCAP/CST9/4 contains a summary of progress with regard to decisions made at the 8th session of the Committee on Statistics. These included decisions to endorse revised terms of reference for the Bureau of the Committee and for the Regional Steering Group on Population and Social Statistics, and the continuation of the Technical Working Group on Disaster-Related Statistics. The committee also decided to feature data governance in its future work. A compendium of country data governance practices has been developed, informed by insights from a management seminar for heads of national statistical offices held in December 2022, and an expert group convened in 2023. The compendium provides a resource for countries across the Asia and Pacific region and beyond, assisting them in adapting and establishing new data governance arrangements that align with the increasing complexity faced by national statistical offices. The committee also decided to feature the production and use of complementary progress measures with an emphasis on climate change-related statistics. The importance of climate change-related statistics was recognized at the 79th session of the Economic and Social Commission for Asia and the Pacific in Resolution 79/1 on accelerating climate action in Asia and the Pacific for sustainable development. These decisions also included that the Bureau should conduct a review of the groups and communities of practice supporting the committee's work, which has now been completed, and the committee are invited to express their views on the recommendations as set out in the document ESCAP/CST9/4. Thank you very much for your attention. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Ms. Weaven, for introduction of agenda item 4A. May I now invite Mr. Badawa Bakmung, Chairman, National Statistics Office of Mongolia, and Chair of the 8th session of the Committee on Statistics to provide introduction of the agenda item 4B, report of the Bureau. Sir, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Excellencies, distinguished delegates, it's my honor to introduce agenda item 4B, report of the Bureau. As per the annotated agenda of for the session, under this agenda item, members of the committee are invited to take note of the report of the activities of the Bureau since the 8th session of the Committee on Statistics, outlined in the document ESCAP/CST9/5, and to provide feedback to the Bureau on its activities. During its work over the last almost 2.5 years, our work has focused mainly on driving progress on the decisions adopted during the 8th session of the committee, including the review of the groups and communities of practice supporting the committee's work as set out in the document ESCAP/CST9/4. As the Bureau, we led this process through 2 rounds of formal consultations, followed by 2 Asia-Pacific Stats Cafe sessions, where we were able to share the draft recommendations and receive feedback. I'm confident that draft decision to replace the existing groups and communities of practice with more flexible task teams will enable us to be more agile and more effective. The Bureau also led the work on developing a conceptual framework for data governance and compiling a compendium of data governance arrangements in the countries across the region. Additionally, we coordinated regional preparations for the 54th and 55th sessions of the Statistical Commission to ensure a unified voice from the Asia-Pacific region. The Bureau has been operating in line with the terms of reference endorsed by the committee at its 8th session, and the committee may wish to share their perspective on effectiveness of the new terms of the reference. I would like to thank my fellow members of the Bureau of the 8th Committee on Statistics and the Secretariat for their work in supporting the activities of the Bureau and for the constructive discussions we have held to progress each of these areas. Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Back to you.
Thank you, Mr. Badawa, for the introduction. May I now invite Ms. Salja Sharma, Director of the Statistical Institute for Asia and the Pacific, to introduce agenda item 4C, reports of the Governing Council of the Statistical Institute for Asia and the Pacific as detailed in the documents. Madam, you have the floor.
Thank you, Chair. Excellencies, distinguished delegates, it's my honor to introduce Agenda Item 4C, Reports of the Governing Council of Statistical Institute for Asia and the Pacific, as per the annotated agenda for the session. Documents ESCAP/79/19 and ESCAP/80/19 contain the reports of the 18th and 19th sessions of the Governing Council, which took place in December 2022 and December 2023, respectively. The 18th session of the Governing Council of the Statistical Institute for Asia and the Pacific was held on 12th and 13th December 2022 in hybrid mode with members participating in person in Chiba, Japan, and online also. During this session, Council members discussed their views on development of e-learning training materials, methodologies as well as Institute's achievements in 2022, and the proposed work program and financial plan for 2023. The training needs remain high, and the number of participants in 2022 at 3431 was the highest number in the history of the Institute. The 19th session of the Governing Council of the Statistical Institute for Asia and Pacific was held on 13th and 14th December 2023 in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. During this session, Council members discussed the performance of the Institute in 2023, noting the continuing high number of participants 3197 trained in 2023. Members also discussed the proposed work plan and financial plan for 2024 and the formulation of the strategic plan of the Institute for 25-29. To support planning for new strategic plan, the Institute proposed a Friends of Chair group consisting of representatives of Governing Council member states and one member each from the Pacific region and Central Asia to facilitate in developing the strategic plan. The 19th session of the Council endorsed the proposed Friends of Chair group. The committee may wish to take note of the reports of the Governing Council of the Statistical Institute for Asia and Pacific on its 18th and 19th session. Thank you, Chair, thank you all for the attention, and thank you, Chair, for the time. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Sharma, for the introduction. Distinguished delegates, now allow me to open the floor for each of these agenda items separately. The floor is now open for comments on agenda item 4A, progress made in implementing the decision taken by the committee at its 8th session. Distinguished delegates, the first speaker is the distinguished delegate from China, to be followed by the distinguished delegate from Georgia. Distinguished delegate from the China, you have the floor.
谢谢主席先生。我们对统计委员会第8届会议以来开展的积极有效工作表示赞赏。我们同意根据主席团的审查结果，对各团体和同业交流群进行精简、改进和整合。这些改进将有助于提升统计委员会工作效能和质量。中国国家统计局愿意积极参与和支持相关任务小组工作，共同推动统计委员会工作。同时，我们建议将现有团体和同业交流群体获得的良好做法、经验、教训和知识继承下来，并纳入新的小组，以确保相关工作的连续性。谢谢主席。
Thank you very much, Ms. Ruan. Next speaker is the distinguished delegate from Georgia, to be followed by the distinguished delegate from India. Distinguished delegate from Georgia, you have the floor.
Thank you, Chair. On behalf of Georgia, once again, I'd like to extend my gratitude to the Bureau and the Secretariat for their valuable efforts. Your comprehensive consultations and inclusive dialogues, such as through the Asia-Pacific Stats Cafes, clearly reflects a commitment to fostering innovation inclusively and efficiency. The proposed transition to more flexible, task-oriented teams is a timely and forward-thinking approach. This new structure aligns with the broader goal of optimizing operations and enhancing the effectiveness of the committee, ensuring it is well equipped to address the evolving statistical needs of the Asia-Pacific community. Geostat was honored to contribute to the consultations that informed this process. We greatly value the emphasis placed on integrated lessons learned from existing groups and communities of practice, which assures a balance between continuity and progress. Georgia particularly welcomes the inclusive nature of the proposed task teams, which open new opportunities for engagement by staff from NSOs, while establishment of an online forum for statisticians in Asia Pacific is promising initiative. We also recognize the broader implications of this transformation, which aims to create a stable and efficient framework. By fostering collaboration, driving innovation, and encouraging more direct engagement, this initiative represents a significant step forward. However, to ensure this success, it is important to outline detail regarding its management and moderation. This will be key to facilitating effective knowledge exchange, experience sharing, and collaboration between UN entities and nation statistical system. In conclusion, I would like to express our sincere appreciation to the Bureau and the Secretariat for their sustainable effort in revising the committee structure. We firmly believe these changes will foster greater collaboration, enhance efficiency, and drive innovation in our field. Georgia remains committed to contributing to the successful implementation of the revised structure and looks forward to continued discussions and collaborations. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Todradze. Next speaker is distinguished delegate from India, to be followed by distinguished delegate from Indonesia. Distinguished delegate from India, you have the floor. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The Government of India acknowledges the efforts by the ESCAP Secretariat in bringing out the status of progress made in implementing the decisions taken by the committee at its 8th session, and takes note of the suggestions for streamlining the works of the committees and groups under changing circumstances. India suggests that prior to finalizing the terms of reference for the task teams, these may be circulated among member countries for consultation. This would allow for the inclusion of diverse perspectives, thereby enhancing the comprehensiveness and effectiveness of the task team's work. Further, India supports the ESCAP's initiative to replace its groups and committees with more flexible task teams. However, it suggests that the nominees of national statistics offices on these task teams should provide written reports to the committee's bureau instead of annual oral reports, as it may result in better clarity of record of the progress and outcomes of the task teams. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you very much. The next speaker, distinguished delegate from Indonesia, to be followed by distinguished delegate from Republic of Korea. Distinguished delegate from Indonesia, you have the floor.
Thank you, Chair. First and for all, Indonesia would like to congratulations to the committee of the achievement and progress made since the 8 sessions. And Indonesia, as one of the state members of steering groups of the ESCAP Committee on Statistics, has actively contributed and complied to the implementation of committee's decisions, particularly in advancing innovation and knowledge sharing in economic, social, and population statistics. We are pleased to highlight several key achievements such as: 1. In the area of innovations of social and economic statistics, we have made some progress. Indonesia applies small areas estimations methodologies to provide detailed data and issues like extreme poverty, food security, and child protection at the district levels. Additionally, Indonesia enhanced SDGs indicators, including pilot testing to Early Childhood Development Index for 2030. In the area of big data and data governance innovations, some progress that have been achieved by BPS is Indonesia utilize big data for satellite imagery, and recently Indonesia utilized mobile positioning data to produce official statistics for tourism data. Indonesia also developing methods and nurturing administrative data for the 2030 population census. Administrative data role is vital for evidence-based policymaking and implementing register-based census. The third, some progress have also been made in advancing disaster-related statistics. Indonesia implements the disaster-related statistic framework through the Disaster Statistic Web Portal, integrating multi-agency data under the Indonesian One Data policy. It has also made progress in measuring economic losses due to the disasters, including conducting capital stock analysis to support GDP calculations. These efforts highlight Indonesia's dedication to produce high-quality, timely, and detailed statistics. By using advanced methodologies and encouraging regional collaborations, we aim to address both national and global priorities, including the Sustainable Development Goals. We are looking forward to sharing these experiences with statistic community in the Asia and Pacific through the UN Regional Hub in Jakarta. Thank you. That's what we made it. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, distinguished delegate from Indonesia, for your statement. The next speaker, distinguished delegate from the Republic of Korea, to be followed by the distinguished delegate from the Mongolia. Distinguished delegate from the Republic of Korea, you have the floor.
Thank you, Chair. I'd like to commend the Secretariat, the Bureau, and expert groups involved in implementing the decisions endorsed by the Committee of Statistics at its 8th session. Regarding Decision 3 on data governance, Statistics Korea, COSTAT, and ESCAP successfully co-organized the international conference that took place in Seoul on last September. This conference provided an invaluable opportunity for in-person exchange, enabling participants to share experience at international, regional, and national levels, while exploring implications for a framework on data governance developed by ESCAP. I extend my gratitude to Deputy Executive Secretary Lin Yang, the national statisticians of Mongolia, Thailand, Malaysia, Singapore, Australia, and New Zealand, and the ESCAP's Director of a Statistics Division for their invaluable contributions and collaborations. COSTAT will continue our partnership with the ESCAP and its member countries to advance our collective efforts in enhancing data governance. Before closing my comments, we would like to introduce our newly launched Geographical Information System service on natural disaster, such as typhoon, flood, and landslides, linking the information on disaster forecast and our information on population and enterprises, especially the socially vulnerable. By doing so, the characteristics of disaster areas is analyzed in the nearly real time, which is widely used by local governments in coping with the disaster. We would be happy to share our experience in this field too. Thank you.
Thank you, distinguished delegate, for your statement. The next speaker is distinguished delegate from the Mongolia, to be followed by distinguished delegate from Nepal. Distinguished delegate from the Mongolia, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Excellencies, distinguished delegates, Mongolia appreciates the efforts and progress made on the 6 decisions adopted during the 8th session of the Committee on Statistics, and we note the progress achieved over the last 2.5 years, particularly in the data governance through the discussions with national statistical offices and expert groups, as well as Asia-Pacific StatCafe sessions. As the chair of the 8th session of the Committee on Statistics, it's my honor to acknowledge the achievements and hard work of the Secretariat and the rest of the Bureau of the 8th Committee on Statistics on strengthening national statistical systems that are better fit for the future. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Back to you.
Thank you for your statement. The next speaker, distinguished delegate from the Nepal, to be followed by distinguished delegate from Singapore. Distinguished delegate from the Nepal, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Excellencies, distinguished delegates, Nepal's National Statistics Office has made some progress in implementing decisions from committee's 8th session. The Statistics Act enacted in 2022 has strengthened NSO's mandate to produce and coordinate official statistics, enhancing the national statistics system. Under the decentralized structure, federal, provincial, and local governments are responsible for generating and utilizing statistics, coordinating activities across various data sources. NSO has improved data accessibility and usability through platforms like National Data Portal and Microdata Catalog, aligning with committees' focus on use of statistics for policymaking. Capacity building remains a priority, with NSO organizing training programs and workshops to enhance staff technical skills and conducting statistical literacy sessions for political leaders, educators, government employees, and other stakeholders. NSO staff also participate in international statistical training programs to strengthen expertise. NSO Nepal is also collaborating with UK Office for National Statistics together with other countries NSO and local partners to develop the pandemic preparedness toolkits. These initiatives ensure that Nepal's statistical system continue to evolve, meeting the committee's recommendations for development of robust, accessible, and effective statistical framework to support evidence-based policymaking and development planning. Thank you.
Thank you, distinguished delegate from the Nepal, for your statement. The next speaker, distinguished delegate from the Singapore, to be followed by distinguished delegate from Thailand. Distinguished delegate from Singapore, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Singapore appreciates the progress made in implementing the decisions taken by the Committee on Statistics at the 8th session and the ESCAP Secretariat's outstanding work in facilitating the implementation of these decisions. Singapore commends the Secretariat's efforts in developing the data governance framework and for placing emphasis on sharing country experiences and facilitating provision of technical assistance. The country profiles based on the framework are useful for national statistical officers to assess against other countries and refine their role in data governance in their own country. Aligned with efforts to cross-share experiences, the Singapore Department of Statistics shared our data governance and stewardship framework in producing official statistics at the Conference on Data Governance and Integration for Maximum Development Impact, jointly organized by Statistics Korea and UN ESCAP in September 2024. DOS has also shared on Singapore's data governance practice in ESCAP Stats Brief, March 2024 issue on data governance practices in Asia and the Pacific. Singapore applauds the Secretariat's progress in providing technical support to help countries to improve and strengthen climate change-related statistics in the Asia-Pacific region. Singapore is currently developing the energy account and environmental goods and services sector accounts based on the system of environmental economic accounting to measure the green economy. Lastly, Singapore supports the adoption of the draft decision to replace standing groups and communities of practice to more flexible, time-bound task teams. The setup of DASH teams in a rapidly changing environment with many cross-cutting issues is in line with how Department of Statistics in Singapore is managing increasing demands for data, diverse data sources, and rapid technological changes. The continual reprioritization of work to reduce those that are less relevant improves our capacity to push ahead with new priority work. Cross-functional teams with the necessary knowledge, interest, and authority are formed to work on specific projects with a collaborative mindset and an agile approach. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, distinguished delegate from Singapore, for your statement. The next speaker, distinguished delegate from Thailand, to be followed by distinguished delegate from Uzbekistan. Distinguished delegate from Thailand, you have the floor.
Mr. Chair, distinguished delegates, thank you for the comprehensive presentation on the progress made in implementing the resolutions from the 8th session of the Committee on Statistics and the activities carried out to date. Thailand support the decision to discontinue overlapping working group in their previous formats and transitioning towards more flexible team. This approach will strengthen regional collaboration and enhance the ability of countries to respond swiftly and effectively to emerging needs and development. Moreover, Thailand supports the implementation of resolutions aimed at advancing governance frameworks and the enhancement of cooperation in environmental statistics, particularly on the issue of climate change statistics, which is critical for driving sustainable development and addressing shared regional challenges. In conclusion, we appreciate the committee's efficient work and accomplishment over the past year, and Thailand stands ready to collaborate and actively contribute to the development of the 2025 to 2026 strategic plan to ensure that we are well prepared to meet future challenges and seize opportunity for advancing regional statistical systems. Thank you.
Distinguished delegate from Thailand, thank you for your statement. The next speaker is distinguished delegate from Uzbekistan. You have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Based on the information provided by the Secretariat on implementing the decisions taken by the Committee on Statistics at its 8th session in 1992 and the results of the review of the groups and communities and practices supporting the works of the committee. We can say that although a significant progress was made, still there is a need to further development and make less formal cooperation mechanisms. Therefore, we support the draft decision on replacing current groups and communities with more flexible task teams for short time periods to create more focus on achieving specific objectives of these teams. At the same time, I think this replacement and changing could help establish more accessible and knowledge sharing environment. Moreover, these improvements of groups and communities could provide more flexibility and more help to National Statistical Office in such complex and rapidly changing world. Thank you.
Thank you very much, distinguished delegate from Uzbekistan, for your statement. Distinguished delegates, now the floor is open for comments on next agenda item 4B, report of the Bureau. The first speaker is the distinguished delegate from China, to be followed by the distinguished delegate from Japan. Distinguished delegate from China, you have the floor.
谢谢主席先生。中国国家统计局对第8届统计委员会主席团开展的大量非常有价值的工作表示感谢和赞赏，期待亚太经社会及其统计委员会未来在推动联合国2030年可持续发展议程落实、加强国家统计机构数据治理、推动建立敏捷统计系统等方面继续发挥重要作用，为各国提供更多指导和帮助。谢谢主席。
Thank you very much, distinguished delegate from China. Next speaker, distinguished delegate from Japan, to be followed by the distinguished delegate from Republic of Korea. Distinguished delegate from Japan, you have the floor.
Thank you, Chair. We appreciate the contributions made by the Bureau to the committee in carrying out its functions. We understand that the 2020 revisions to the TOR were aimed at ensuring close and appropriate cooperation and communication between the Bureau and the committee. We hope that the Bureau will continue to provide transparent reporting on its activities. Thank you.
Many thanks, distinguished delegates from Japan. Next speaker, distinguished delegate from the Republic of Korea. You have the floor.
Thank you, Chair. I'd like to express my gratitude for the active leadership demonstrated by the Bureau during the intersessional period. As the Vice Chair of the UN Statistical Commission Bureau, I would like to share the recent adjustment of a UNSC Bureau meeting. Under the 1+1 scheme for regional representation, the chairs of UN Regional Committee of Statistics are invited to the meetings. I'd like to thank Mr. Batadawa Batamuk, Chairman of the NSO Mongolia, for joining me in the representing ESCAP at the UNSC Bureau meeting. And I look forward to working closely with the newly elected chair, Mr. Ng Chan Ko, Chief Statistician, Singapore. As you may know, the UNSC membership will be gradually expanded starting in 2026. For the Asia-Pacific region, the number of member countries is expecting to increase from the current 4 members to 6, which means there will be 2 vacancies in the year of 2026. The election for the UNSC member countries serving the 2026 to 2029 term will take place next spring. For those who are interested in the membership of the UNSC, you are recommended to consult with your Ministry of Foreign Affairs and the Permanent Mission to the UN, as well as the Secretariat of UNSC. Thank you.
Thank you very much, distinguished delegate from the Republic of Korea. Distinguished delegates, now the floor is now open for comments on agenda item 4C, reports of the Governing Council of the Statistical Institute for Asia and the Pacific. The first speaker is a distinguished delegate from Japan, to be followed by a distinguished delegate from ILO. Thank you. Distinguished delegate from Japan, you have the floor.
Thank you, Chair. We highly appreciate SIAP's efforts to appropriately address the needs of member states and associate member states by expanding online training during the COVID-19 pandemic and resuming face-to-face training afterward. We recognize the growing and diversifying demands for SIAP training programs. As discussed during the 20th session of the Governing Council of SIAP held this week, we hope SIAP will continue to appropriately meet these training needs through collaboration with a wide range of partners. As a host government, Japan remains committed to supporting SIAP. Thank you.
Thank you very much, distinguished delegate from Japan. We have now gotten to the end of the statements by members and associate members of the Commission. Time allows, I would like to now open the floor to observers, United Nations bodies, international organizations, and non-governmental organizations in this order. And the next speaker is the distinguished delegate from International Labour Organization. You have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and distinguished delegate, good morning again and welcome to this beautiful city of Bangkok. The ILO acknowledged the excellent report of the Governing Council of the Statistical Institute for Asia and the Pacific, in short SIAP, and the important work and contribution of SIAP in building statistical capacity of member states in the region and even beyond. The ILO has been collaborating with SIAP in its training activities for more than 20 years already, and we are proud of such excellent and win-win collaboration. The ILO confirms its commitment and support to the SIAP training programs, currently with an annual ILO SIAP regional course on statistics on informal economy and on other SDGs decent work indicators. The ILO equally contributes to the annual JICA supported training program on theory and practices in official statistics, in short TAPOS, with a module on labor statistics. ILO considers these capacity building activities as pivotal for building the capacity of and advocating for the implementation of international statistical standards, including those adopted by the International Conference of Labor Statisticians as we mentioned in our statement yesterday. The ILO would like to express its gratitude and appreciation to the government of Japan for the financial and logistical support to SIAP through its Ministry of Internal Affairs and Communication, and we continue to appreciate such support. Thank you, Chair.
Distinguished delegate from International Labour Organization, many thanks for your statement. The next speaker, distinguished delegate from ITU. You have the floor.
Thank you, Chair. Excellencies, distinguished delegates, the International Telecommunication, or RTU, expresses its thanks to ESCAP for the kind invitation to join the 9th session of the Committee on Statistics and congratulates the Secretariat for the successful organization of the Asia-Pacific Statistics Week 2024. As the United Nations Specialized Agency for ICTs, ITU recognizes the role of SIAP in developing statistical capacity in Asia and the Pacific. To further contribute to SIAP's role, please allow us to elaborate on a few initiatives in ITU that can support this objective. Last month, ITU launched the 2024 edition of the Measuring Digital Development Facts and Figures report. This flagship report tracks global connectivity with estimates of key indicators, including those related to internet use, infrastructure, affordability, internet traffic, gender, and location. This report also includes the 5 ICT indicators that ITU is responsible for as part of the Global Sustainable Development Goal Framework. Additionally, ITU takes this opportunity to highlight the importance of universal and meaningful connectivity, the ability for everyone to go online under optimal conditions at an affordable cost anywhere and anytime they need. In support of this initiative, the 2024 edition of ITU's ICT Development Index was published earlier this year, where we encourage distinguished delegates to take this opportunity to review the document. The ITU has also developed resources to support the use of mobile phone data, big data, for official statistics and information society measurements, crucial for the monitoring of the Global Digital Compact and progress towards universal and meaningful connectivity, supported by the UN Global Assembly in its adoption of the Pact for the Future. ITU training materials include a comprehensive guide and ITU Python notebooks that provide practical tools for countries to harness this new source of data. 2 free online training courses on a collection of ICT statistics are available on the ITU Academy, and a new course on ICT service price statistics is under development. Together with ESCAP, and as a regional training institute, SIAP can play a pivotal role in sharing this knowledge across countries from the region. This can be achieved through strengthened collaboration within the UN Committee of Experts on Big Data and Data Science for Official Statistics, or UNCEBD, training task team, or by integrating courses on mobile phone data into SIAP's training activities, empowering countries to leverage these innovative data sources for policy and decision-making. The International Telecommunication Union is ready to explore with SIAP the inclusion of such capacity development materials in SIAP's regional training programs. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much, distinguished delegate. Distinguished delegates, I would like to highlight the draft decision under the agenda item as contained in document ESCAP/CST 9/4, which reads as follows. Decision 4. The Committee on Statistics decided to replace its groups and committees of practice, the Regional Steering Group on Population and Social Statistics, the Steering Group for the Regional Program for the Improvement of Economic Statistics in Asia and the Pacific, the Asia-Pacific Data Integration Community of the Practice, the Technical Working Group on Disaster-Related Statistics in Asia and the Pacific, and the Network for the Coordination of Statistical Training in Asia and the Pacific, with more flexible task teams. Request the Bureau, in consultation with the Secretariat, to oversee the functioning of the teams, and request the Secretariat to report on the work of the teams as appropriate in its note on the activities of the Bureau submitted to the Committee at its regular sessions, while bearing in mind the need to stay within existing regular budget resources. Distinguished delegates, the floor is now open for comments on the draft decision. Okay. Thank you, distinguished delegates, for constructive cooperation. I now ask the Secretariat to include the text of this draft decision in the draft report to be considered on Friday. I request the Secretariat to include this version of the text in the draft report for consideration during the adoption of the report. Thank you. Distinguished delegates, it is now time to consider the last agenda item of today's discussions. This is agenda item 5, other matters. Distinguished delegates, it's my pleasure to report on behalf of the Bureau on the status of the credentials of representatives of members to the 9th sessions of the Committee on Statistics in accordance with Rule 12 of the Rules of the Procedure of the Commission. The Bureau of the 9th session of the Committee on Statistics examines the credentials of representatives of foreign member states submitted in accordance with the Rule 11 of the Rules of the Procedure of the Commission and found them to be in order. May I take it that it's the wish of the committee to take note of the report of the Bureau? Okay, I see no objections. It is so decided. Yeah? Nice. Yeah, distinguished delegates, are there any other matters which any member would like to bring to the attention of the committee? Okay, distinguished delegates, if you don't have nice. We recognize that distinguished delegate from the Nepal, you have the floor, yeah.
Thank you, Chair. Excellencies, distinguished delegates, the Constitution of Nepal 2015, Statistical Act 2022, Statistical Regulation 2023, the National Strategy for the Development of Statistics, and the restructuring of the National Statistics Office have introduced key provisions of strengthened Nepal statistical system. The Statistics Act 2022 established the National Statistics Office to coordinate established statistical activity across federal, provincial, and local level. It empowers the NSO to standardize data collection, processing, and publication by public-private entities, ensuring reliability and consistency. Provision of the safeguard individual privacy mandate the use of personal data solely for aggregate statistical purposes. The federal government can issue directives to specific data collection with the NSO overseeing and approving national statistical activities. Operating under the offices of the Prime Minister and Minister of Council, the NSO led by the Chief Statistician now serves as a central body of statistical governance, coordinate effort and across government level and sectors. The NSO has drafted a new national strategy for the development of statistics to modernize Nepal's statistical infrastructure. It addresses issues like data gaps, timelines, and the quality of oil, hosting partnership with the international organization for the capacity building and adoption of the global best practice. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much, distinguished delegate from the Nepal. Maybe any matters from our distinguished delegates? Okay, distinguished delegates, If we do not have other matters to proceed, I think that it's time to adjourn for today and reconvene tomorrow. Before I give the floor to the Secretariat, I would also like to inform you that the draft report of the 9th session of the Committee on Statistics is expected to be available tomorrow at 12 hours on the event website. Please review it before coming to the afternoon session at 14:15 hours. Please note that the draft report shared tomorrow is procedural in nature. Our deliberations during the session will be summarized in the account of the proceedings, which will be available within a week following the conclusion of the session. Thank you, and see you tomorrow. I now give the floor to the Secretariat for any announcement. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chair, and thank you so much, distinguished delegates. Just bear with me with a couple of announcements. We are pleased to invite you to join the lunch generously hosted by Pacific Community, SPC. The lunch will be served at the same venue as yesterday at the reception hall, ground floor, this building, and it will be available from 12 to 1 o'clock. After lunch, you are warmly invited to join the side event on Country First Approach and Drive Smarter Data Monitoring. This side event will explore how real data gaps should be defined at the national level with a focus on small islands, developing states. But it is also relevant to all countries. The event will consider whether our current approach to country monitoring is achieving the most optimal results or not. This side event will be held at from 1 to 2 o'clock at meeting room A, level 1, same room as yesterday. And as we are ahead of time and we are stopping here and we will reconvene tomorrow, so let me make some other announcements regarding tomorrow. That the Secretariat would like to bring your attention to the evaluation questionnaire about the relevance and effectiveness of 9th session of the Committee on Statistics. Your input will be valuable to for the Secretariat to understand what can be improved in future sessions. The questionnaire is available online at the link displayed on the screen, and the Secretariat will also send the link to you by email. May we kindly request you to complete and return one consolidated response from your delegation by 20 December 2024. For tomorrow, before we proceed with the last agenda item at 2:15, to adopt the draft report of the 9th session of the Committee on Statistics, may I remind you that there are 2 side events that will take place tomorrow morning. The first side event is the expert meeting on data and AI for sustainable development, which will take place in room A, level 1, same room from 9 to 12. This meeting will provide an introduction to the topic and set the stage for exploring practical examples of how data, AI, and development are interconnected, highlighting the role of national statistical systems within this ecosystem. May I ask my colleagues to share the slide on the side event, please? The one that I just finished. And yes, this is for the next one. Okay, I continue. All right, no problem. And for tomorrow, lunch will be available for all delegates from 12 to 1 again in reception hall on ground floor. And we thank Paris 21 for their generosity in hosting lunch tomorrow. And after lunch, you are invited to join a side event on showcasing the power of data, lightning talks to spark data innovation, which will be held in meeting rooms G and H, located on level 1 UNCC. Each room will cover 5 topics, which will be posted in front of the rooms and can be found on the side events tab of the Committee on Statistics website as well. So you can choose which one you would like to attend. Once again, I would like to direct your attention to the QR code on the screen. This will take you to the questionnaire, which will aim to assess the relevance, effectiveness, and efficiency of the committee session and other associated events. Your feedback will enable the Secretariat to improve its preparation for and servicing of future sessions of the committee. We therefore sincerely hope that you will take a few minutes and respond to this questionnaire. Thank you very much. And see you in 1 hour for lunch and then side event. Thank you.
Thank you.
Delegates, I'm just informed that the lunch will be ready half an hour earlier, so it will be available at 11:30 at the reception hall. Thank you.